So it actually took some time to make this video happen because I was using the 9 Pro so much that I sort of just snubbed the non-Pro model. And honestly, after using the phone on and off for the past month, I actually kind of like it better than the 9 Pro. Let me tell you why. Okay, so the first thing is its price. On OnePlus's website, the OnePlus 9 retail price is around $730, which, yeah, still pretty pricey. But if you go on Amazon or check the link in the description, you can pick up the OnePlus 9 for under $700, which is pretty insane given this phone just came out a couple of months ago. So for under $700, it's already a steal because you have the latest processor, you're getting a 120Hz OLED display, 65 watts wired charging, and you get Hasselblad colors from its cameras. Now, the second thing I actually love about the regular 9 is the flat display. I'm sure most of you watching this don't really care much about having a flat or curved display on your phone, but I think flat displays are where it's at. It's just a lot better to hold the phone, watching videos are better, and the overall user experience is way smoother in my opinion. The display is also a tiny bit smaller than the Pro, which I like because smaller phones are better, it's more pocketable, and it's just easier to use. I think the 6.55-inch display is the sweet spot for flagship Android phones. Anything bigger is just way too much in my opinion. Now, the 120Hz panel honestly feels the same as the Pro, so there's really no big difference between the two that I notice, but overall though, the flat display makes the regular 9 better than the 9 Pro. Now, when it comes to its performance and day-to-day usage, the biggest difference between the 9 and the 9 Pro is how much RAM is inside the phone. The 9 only has 8 gigs of RAM, which is pretty standard nowadays for flagship phones versus the 12 gigs that's inside the Pro model. I personally didn't have any issues running anything on this phone. Everything ran smooth like butter, so I can't really complain about its performance. There's also no overheating issues that I've noticed. I read some of your comments on my 9 Pro video. Maybe it has something to do with the climate that you're in and what you're doing on the phone that's causing the phone to overheat, but for me, there were no issues here whatsoever. Now, when it comes to its battery life, the 9 actually has the same 4500 mAh battery as the 9 Pro, but given that the phone has less RAM, a 1080p panel, it'll consume a little bit less energy, but I still managed to get around 7 to 9 hours of screen on time, maybe less depending on what I'm doing for the day or the week. It's definitely not the best battery life that I've gotten on a phone. It could be a lot better, but with the 65 watt warp charging, it didn't really matter. The phone's going to charge up to 75% in about 25 minutes or 30 minutes, which is still insane to me. Also, I love the fact that wireless charging is now standard. Even though it's not the super fast wireless charging on the 9 Pro, the 15 watts is still welcomed. I can keep the phone charged overnight and not worry about the phone dying on me because I forgot to plug it in before I went to bed. So overall, when it comes to battery life, it's decent, but the super duper quick charging makes up for the decent battery life. And last but not least, the cameras. So I'm only including the cameras because I think in certain scenarios, the OnePlus 9 can actually shoot good photos, but overall though, it's just not as good as the 9 Pro. Now, the camera sensor, while yes, they did collaborate with Hasselblad on the sensors, photos just look soft and the overall shooting experience wasn't that good. I felt like there's a noticeable shutter lag between each shot, and there also seems to be some sort of delay processing these photos right away when you go to the gallery, which is kind of annoying given that this has the latest processor from Qualcomm. Low light photos also look like it was shot from a 2017 smartphone. If you're using a 2017 smartphone, I'm sorry. Photos just look smudgy, there's noticeable noise in the shadows, and when I did use Nightscape, which is their night mode, it looked like some of the photos that I shot had a beauty filter on it, which made the overall photo look way softer than it should be. I definitely think photos could be better if they figured out a new way to process them, but after all the updates that's been pushed out, there weren't really any big changes here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. For under $700, I think the OnePlus 9 may actually be the better buy here, and this isn't the first time I'm recommending a phone that isn't the top of the line smartphone from the same family line. I actually recommended the Pixel 4a 5G over the Pixel 5. Make sure to go watch that video if you haven't, because in my opinion, it offered a similar experience for less money. And I think it's the same here for the OnePlus 9 and OnePlus 9 Pro. Sure, the camera experience isn't that great versus the Pro. You're not getting super fast wireless charging, and you also don't have an extra 4 gigs of RAM inside, but with a price difference of around $350 to $400, I really think you should consider looking at the 9 instead of the 9 Pro for this year's release. I'll definitely be revisiting the 9 Pro soon. If you want to know anything more about the 9 Pro and its updates, let me know in the comments section down below, and also let me know what other phones or tech items you want me to check out, and yeah, I'll catch you all in the next one.